Hey there, it's Katie Jarvis with Managing the Mess. If we haven't met before, I'm a K-6 elementary art teacher, and I teach here at a Title I school just outside of Washington, D.C. It is currently the second day of school for me, and this video, I'm going to really focus in on some tips for just surviving the beginning of the school year. The first tip I have for you is to go really slowly over routines. This is going to be something you will thank yourself for later in the school year. So especially in these first few weeks, I want to keep going over my routines and teaching things very clearly. I want to make sure that my students have confidence in how to do the routines. And then each and every class gets those routines right so they know how that it looks and it feels. So we will practice lining up over and over again with a lot of teacher help and practice and a lot of praise and feedback to get those routines right. One thing that I'm doing is meeting my classes at the door. So I'm going out into the hallway. I have this little expectations chart and I'm going over that I need my students to stay in line, that there should be no sounds or voices, that they need to come in and sit down on the carpet. They need their eyes forward and their ears listening. And I'm going to continue to go out and greet my classes, kindergarten through 6th grade, in the hallway and kind of go over these expectations for the first few weeks of school till I get to the point that they can do this without any assistance. At the beginning of the school year is one of the best times to do a collaborative project because you only need one lesson plan for the entire school. I've done quite a few of these to start out my school year in the past. I'll pop some pictures up on the screen while I'm talking, and I do have patterns for some of them over on my Teachers Pay Teachers. This year, I got a little bit of help from one of my favorite sellers, Glitter Meets Glue on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I got these pencils. My students are each completing a pencil, and then we're going to put this together on a collaborative mural. As we're beginning the school year, we're focused on simple supplies because we're focused on routines and how to use those supplies. So I begin with this simple coloring and drawing project. We will paint those in with temper cakes, and then we're going to move on to collage. So the entire school will be focused on how to use scissors, how to use glue sticks, and how to use the paper in the art room. Now, when we build from there, it's going to go into doing painting and other messier projects. But it's nice to have something simple that you start off with at the beginning of the school year because there's so many other things going on, so many organizational tasks, and let's be honest, your mental energy is just a little bit lower as the school year gets going. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to do 20 things at the same time. But I find at the beginning, keeping it simple with the materials really helps. As the school year starts, you really need to embrace the duties that you've been given. If, like me, you have a duty that's outside, get yourself a fun little umbrella. Make sure you've got a nice warm raincoat and rain boots. Make sure that as the seasons get colder, you've got things to cover your ears and your head, and that you're not going to be miserable out there doing those duties. If you've got cafeteria duty, you might want to get yourself a little fanny pack or wear a pair of scissors on a lanyard. But think about how you can make the best of a duty you might not enjoy doing. Also, similarly, I try to embrace the schedule. I've got a schedule now and I'm stuck with it for the rest of the school year. So how can I make it work for me? For me, I divide things up and I have certain days that I focus on certain things. I have days when I stay a little bit later after school, and I have days where I let myself go home. As far as managing your time, I've got a whole video on that with lots of tips. It's definitely something that I try to focus on in the beginning of the school year. Using List, I use Google Keep, and I've got a video that I'll link in the description down below that recommends a lot more tips as well. So at the beginning of the year, there's a lot of talking. There's just a lot of talking. You've got to explain a lot of things to a lot of people. And I recommend drinking a ton of water. I am drinking like double what I normally drink to preserve my voice. For years and years, I would lose my voice the first week of school and just be miserable. It really drains your energy. So I have a video of all the tips that I found over the years that have helped me. One of the big ones is that I use a voice amplifier, but exactly how I go about using it is something that you're going to want to check out. I'll be sure to link that video in the description down below. As the school year gets going, the talking starts. And you want to be really careful that you're not talking over students and that you have very clear boundaries about when they should be talking and when they should be listening. So I've got you there too. I've got a video all about managing the talking that you're definitely going to want to watch next. At the beginning of the school year, to get yourself going, I would spend a lot of time on organization. So for me, setting up seating charts that first week of school. And I have a variation of 8 different seating charts available over on my Teachers Pay Teachers. If you don't have seating charts, I recommend it to help you learn names and to keep things more organized in your classroom. I'm also a little bit extra and I print out name tag labels for my student artwork. It has numbers on it. It corresponds to where they sit. So there's a lot of organization involved in that. It is a little bit of extra work at the beginning of the year to kind of get the system rolling, but overall, it keeps me extremely organized, so I feel like it is worth my effort. This is the time of year you should be getting things ready and labeling supplies. That way, when you have routines about this is how I want things to go back, this is how I want things to look, you've got pictures of it. Cleanup should be very visual. If you are looking for organizational tips or cleanup tips, I've got an awesome video about avoiding cleanup chaos. Again, check out the description down below, but this channel has over 180 videos all about art room management. So anything from organization to clean up to how I deal with absent students, which is something that you're going to need to think about these first few weeks of school, is covered on my channel. If you come across a topic that you don't see, also feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or here on YouTube, and I'll try to get that video made for you. One of my goals is to help make you feel less alone in this crazy career and to help make your job easier. At the beginning of the school year, it is a really busy, stressful time. This job isn't easy, okay? It's very physical. So I make sure that while the weather is nice, I make time to go for walks so that I can be outside and exercise at the same time. I also prioritize going to the gym because this is a really physical job being an art teacher. And if you are consistently working out and taking care of yourself, it makes the job easier. If you haven't already, get really clear on what your management plan is going to be. What's going to happen when a student misbehaves in your art room? What's going to happen on the first and second warning? What's going to happen on the third warning? What's going to happen if week after week a student misbehaves? It's nice to me and a little bit more settling that I know what is going to happen, so I'm just acting out my plan and not just figuring out things as it goes. I have a system where each and every week I communicate with the classroom teacher using a form that I call an art support report. When a student gets to a second warning, I'm noting it on that note. When it gets to a third warning about the same behavior in one art class, it's on the note, but I'm also contacting home and I'm letting the classroom teacher know how I dealt with that issue. In addition to behavior things, that note is also helpful in sharing, did somebody lose a tooth? Did somebody go home early? Things of that nature. Throughout the school year, but especially at the beginning when you're trying to survive, make sure that you're getting enough sleep. I know that I tend to start staying up later and later because I'm doing projects, and then I will even wake up early and be stressed and thinking about things that I need to do. So my sleep window gets smaller and smaller. What I do is I use my Apple Watch and I set a reminder of when I need to start winding down and getting ready to go to bed. I also have shared this tip before, and that is when you get home, just put your pajamas on right away as soon as you can. You wash your face and do the things that you need to do before you go to bed. So right after dinner, I brush my teeth so that when it is time for me to go to bed, I'm not procrastinating going to bed because I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to get off the couch. I don't want to have to go wash my face and brush my teeth and put my pajamas on. Like I'm already like mostly there. So it's a little bit easier. Another thing I've been doing to help relax is I've been making sure that I am reading a book, a physical book, before I go to bed. And that has helped me to get better sleep as well. This is a great big job. So make sure that you're asking for help when you need it. Think about asking for parent volunteers. Maybe you're going to have student helpers. Maybe for little projects, you can have your own family help you out. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because videos on this channel are going to help to make your job easier and help you feel less alone in this crazy career. I'll see you in my next video.